Hello. This is the second time I'm voicing over this project because the first time the footage got lost. So I exported it to YouTube and half of it was missing and I had a complete meltdown and I've had to do the whole thing again. So this is my sister. And I'm doing her nails for the first time. She doesn't live locally to me. She has been poorly. She's a poorly lady. She was recently diagnosed with cancer, and before she has her surgery, but while she's having her treatment, I am going to be in charge of making her nails beautiful. And she may well be coming to stay with me for a few weeks during her treatment. So you may see lots more nail videos if she's well enough. But she said to me, "Can you do my nails and make them pretty?" And I said, "Yes, lady, I can." Normally she goes to a local salon because she does live quite a way away. Just to pop and do nails. So she hasn't had them on for a while because she was waiting for surgery for her cancer, but they've delayed it to do different treatment. So that's why we're doing nails now. Now, my sister's nails are like hook nails. So the center of the nail play rises up. And if you were to follow that trajectory, the nails would then hook down, which is what's happened where she last went. And it caused some strain. So it's quite good that she hasn't actually had nails on for a while because they've just sort of had a chance to strengthen a little bit and regrow. So I've done my cuticle prep there with my e-file and cuticle bits. My e-file's from Melodysusie. I think I've got a link with a discount code in the description. And then I'm just taking my Katie Barnes cuticle scissors and removing any non-living tissue. And we'll do that quite gently. Her nails are in great condition considering they were put under quite a bit of stress before. And she's obviously been quite unwell as well. They're remarkably healthy, probably more so than mine actually. So that's awesome. And my sister always picks bright nail colours. That's her thing. She absolutely loves bright colours, bright nails. So that's what we're going to do today. Some summery, fun, bright nails, which I think will be quite good. But as you can see, these cuticle scissors are just making such light work of it. They're so easy to use. Because where I've got arthritis in my thumb, holding like scissors that hook over your thumb is actually quite uncomfortable for me. So these have got a very sort of gentle motion where you just squeeze, but very gently. So they're lightweight as well. They work really, really well. I'm really impressed with them. And I got them for £10. If you look on TikTok on Katie Barnes tool range, on a Tuesday they do £10 Tuesday. One of you guys, I can't remember who it was now, told me and I was so grateful. So I got them for £10 and they're amazing. I love them. So look how they just make light work of it. Like off they go, just chop, chop, chop. So easy. That's quite satisfying, isn't it? Yes. So obviously I'm going to do that on both hands. And then we're going to get on with the nail prep, filing and stuff like that. How have you all been? What have you got to drink? I've got Yorkshire tea. Let me know what you're drinking. I've just had an ice cream as well and I'm cold. Have you ever done that? Oh, and also today I went and had 3 tiny tattoos from a lady that's a makeup artist and she's learning to do tiny tattoos. So I had 3 tiny tattoos today. They're very tiny and very cute. But she's training, so it's nice for her to have people to practice on. And I'm more than happy. I've got a big tattoo booked in later this month. I'm more than happy to let someone get some experience because it's what's needed, isn't it? We do it in our industry. So that's cool. So, that was a juicy bit, wasn't it? That was juicy. Okay, dokie. So now I'm going to take a 180 grit file and just buff the surface of the nail. I'm not really applying pressure. I'm just removing the shine and just tidy up the edges, but they don't really need tidying up because they're nice and short and neat. The reason we do this is obviously to create a rough surface for the acrylic to adhere to. It won't adhere to a smooth surface or an oily surface. And I learned that the hard way once. I remember doing my daughter's nails and she was starving hungry. She was like, Mum, I'm so hungry. Please, can I eat while you do my nails? And I was like, of course you can, darling, if you're hungry. No, big mistake. She wanted crisps. And I was like, oh, mate. So her nails did not last very long because she was getting oil on them and I didn't dehydrate again. So as I was prepping and stuff like that, yeah, bloody oil all over her nails. Silly girl. And then she's like, well, these nails haven't lasted long. Well, I wonder why, Miss Cheese and Onion Crisp Hand. Not my fault. Not my bloody fault. Mind you, I did Abby's nails last night and she was eating chocolate blimmin' fingers. I'm like, you've just got chocolate all over your hands. What are you doing? I'm trying to do your nails. I know normally people go no food in the salon, but I'm working from home and these are just family members. They're not clients. So I can't really enforce any rules because they'll probably just slap me. Right, let's get the dust off. And we'll dehydrate the nails with some isopropyl alcohol. And then I'm going to go in and apply some stiletto tips. Nice and easy, making sure they fit sidewall to sidewall, obviously, because you need that strength. So I'm going to size them up and then apply some adhesive. Now, you can either apply adhesive to the nail or to the tip. Sometimes I do the nail, sometimes I do the tip. Don't ask me why I change it up, because I couldn't tell you. I don't know. I haven't got a clue. Have not got a clue. Oh, and as if by magic, I've trimmed the nails and shaped them into baby letters. She likes them pointier than an almond, so we call them baby letos. I'm then dehydrating again with isopropyl alcohol on a lint-free pad, but don't be fooled. Sometimes they still have white stuff come off them. I don't know why. But these are a lovely shape, aren't they? I mean, I would call them more almondy, but we're calling them baby letos because she does have them a little bit more pointy at the end. So that's the start there. Now I'm going to go in and apply a thin clear base to each and every nail. My top tip here, because I've got somebody with hook nails and they do naturally grow as hook nails, is that I apply less product in the center and more product to the tip because I have to balance out the shape. So I'm going to have to build the nail up at the tip and keep it thin in the middle of the nail plate, which is where the swoop is bigger. You may not be able to see it on here, you know, the same way I see it with the naked eye, which is understandable because I'm looking at the nail from all angles. But it means that I need to sort of smoosh it down here and pull that product down further like this. Because ultimately, I've got a whole design in acrylic to do. And if I don't keep that central part thin, which is really the stress point area, if I don't keep the product thin, it will be a hook nail. I've kept those sidewalls nice and straight, but it will still be a lot higher up in the middle of the nail if I follow her natural nail shape, because I'm adding product on top of a bit that's already quite high up. So I need to be really considerate about where I'm placing the product, really think it through. There is an easier way, I've sped it up here now, but there is an easier way as well where you can just apply the bead further down the nail and then back brush it, blend it backwards. So you've got the thin clear base further up, but the bulk of the product down the nail as well. So you can either drag it like this or you can place the bead lower and back brush it. I might do it on this hand. I think I did. I just can't remember which, when I started doing it, I was like, oh, I'll do it this way. Just switch it up as you go. But the idea of the thin clear base is, number one, to protect the nail, because I'm going to be doing, there you go, I back brushed it, because I'm going to be using coloured acrylic, so I don't want to stain the nail plate. Number two, clear acrylic is your strongest acrylic, so it really helps with adhesion, providing that your ratio is okay on your bead. Don't go too wet, don't go too dry. And number three, if she comes in for a redesign, it gives me something to file back to, so I can file off the coloured acrylic, but I know that there's a thin clear base there protecting her nail plate from my file. So yeah, there you go. That's that done. Time to start the design work. I'm using Perfect Pink from Nailmate. My brush is from Glitter Planet. It's a size 10. Rainbow glittery brush, which is stunning. My acrylic is from Glitter Planet. It's the Nailmate system. And this is Perfect Pink. I will put a 10% discount code for you in the description box. Please use it if you're shopping for anything at Glitter Planet, because it lets them know that you've come via me. And that's really good for me because it helps my business grow. So if you could possibly do that, I'd be really, really grateful. It's good feedback for them. They know that you've come and had a look at my stuff and you've popped over to their website. So as you can see, I'm doing a smile line here. So I'm extending the nail bed down and I'm following that almond shape. Nice pointy, soft almond shape. Using my brush to carve into the acrylic. And then we're just going to apply that cuticle bead, use the tip of my brush to tuck it around. And then the middle of my brush will move the bulk of the product. And then we'll blend that second bead into the first bead. And I can see little bits here and there where I'm going to have to add more product. That's absolutely not a problem. Just going to check my cuticle area there. We don't want it touching, but it was fine. Apply another bead here to blend the two together. Blend it back with the sort of underneath of the brush towards the tip where it's a bit finer. And then I'm just going to kind of perfect those edges and let it set in place. And I will come back to this nail last when I've done all the other nails. But I'm just getting my smile line into place so that it can polymerize and set, ready for filing. But you do not want to file that in until your other nails have been designed and are encapsulated. Otherwise, you're going to get nail dust everywhere. And that's going to be within your design, and it's just going to be blooming awful, love. Blooming awful. Okay, a little bit there, a little bit here, a little bit there. That's just reminding me I need to order some more gloves. These gloves were from TikTok shop, and actually I don't rate them because the minute they come into contact with the chemicals, they start melting. Right, I'm going in with, I think this is neon green. It's Glitter Planet. I'll put it in the description box. Neon green. It is an acrylic colour powder, which means that it's not a strength powder. It's for design, so you work nice and thin. It is super duper pigmented, as you can see. So I'm going to work in small beads in a medium to wet consistency, and I'm going to build up the opacity and the coverage because I don't want to go, if I go ham straight away, then my blend is going to be too intense and I won't be able to ombre the nail. Ombre! Do-do-do-do-do-do-do. So, isn't it lovely summery green? I would never think to have green nails. My sister's like, yes, give me green nails, bitch. I want the green nails, lady. I'd be like, oh, I don't know if I should have green nails. I'm not sure. She's got olive skin. She's darker than me. And it just suits her so much. Okay. Just adding little bits here and there just to kind of build it up gradually without building up too much bulk. Once I'm happy, I'm going to grab a bead of feathers, which, not a bead of feathers, literally. It's a glitter acrylic from Nailmate, pre-mixed. Sometimes I add a bit more clear acrylic to it so that it flows a bit better because it's packed with fine glitter. Let me just check the sides there. Can you see that I'm always checking the shape? So I'm always tidying up the edges, and that's purely because you're adding more product, aren't you? So over and over. And if you don't keep it tidy, then you're literally going to make life harder for yourself when you're filing. So this is Feathers, the glitter acrylic I was just telling you about. And I'm going to really gently and slowly go in with that as an ombre. This is tricky because of the shape of her nails. Because of that structure, that hook structure, this was a tricky ombre to do whilst trying to keep the nails at an acceptable thickness, but get the right coverage. It's a bit of a balancing act between getting the coverage, getting the blend, but not ending up with a hugely lumpy nail, because this still has to be encapsulated because it is design, not strength, and it needs filing. So I need to add more product still and then refine the shape. which is why it's better working in smaller beads and kind of as neat as possible, because then there's just less to fix. So you need less product in the long run. There we are. I'm going to let that set, and I'm going to go in on this nail and do a marble. Now, I'm not happy with this. My sister was fine, but I'm not. Because all I did was use Perfect Pink and Neon Green, and I really feel like I would have benefited. Oh, I added some of the feathers as well, the glitter. But I think it would benefit from white. Yeah, or even another neon, like a neon pink. Just some more contrast, I think would be good. But it's done now, so there's nothing I can do about it. But looking back in hindsight, yeah, I do think it would have been good to have some more contrasting colours in there. You know how it is. So I'm just applying quite a wet bead. So I do 2 beads at a time. I do a bead of Perfect Pink, quite wet, and then I'm going to go in with a bead of Neon Green straight inside that bead, and then just twirl them together slightly. But you've got to remember, the Neon Green is way more pigmented, so you use a lot less, otherwise it would just take over. It's a lot more pigmented. And then here and there I'll go in like just there with a little bit of Neon Green just to tap around the edges. It's a good way of filling in your cuticle area without adding bulk, because it's pigmented. So if you don't want a bulky nail. Then I'm going to pick up some of that glitter acrylic called Feathers. And add that as well. And just put that into some of the areas, nice and gently. There we go. I'm just going to tap it in and around, just a little tappy tap, tappy tap, 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 tappy tap. Nice. And once I'm happy with that, I'm going to leave it and let it all set into place and move on to the index finger, which is going to be another ombre nail. But this time I'm going to use Neon Green at the tip, and I'm going to use Perfect Pink as the ombre, and then Feathers as a glitter swoosh. Slightly different technique. Now, I will hold my hands up and say that on this nail, I overdid the blend. I got a bit like rushing. Can you see, I applied quite a big bead there, and I took that green too far up the nail, in my opinion. I mean, you might think it's fine, but for me, no, it wasn't the look I wanted. I did pull it back with the Perfect Pink, because luckily that nude has a good coverage, but it did stress me out. So I'll share that with you. Be careful with your blends, don't get too cocky. Because now I've got kind of like, instead of 2/3 of the nail, it's like 3/4 of the nail, isn't it? That's covered with the green, and it's unnecessary to have that much. So yeah, we don't need it. Stop it. So give that a couple of seconds to set up. I'm going to go and do a full green thumb. I love a thumb. I just think they look cool. They look so cool. Look at that. So nice. Tappy tap tap. Obviously, I'm going to apply that cuticle bead very carefully, using the tip of my brush to just guide it into place nice and gently. We do not want to mess with green acrylic. That would be difficult. Very difficult. And then I'm just going to add little bits here and there just to build up the opacity and the coverage. That's the same word, opacity, coverage, whatevs. Whatevs, Trevs. And when I'm happy with that, obviously, I'll let that set in place. Go back to the index finger, and I'm applying a bead of Perfect Pink. Now, because I knew that I'd applied that green quite far up the nail, I bled the back of my bead of the Perfect Pink, because by doing so, the bead's a bit drier, which means it's more pigmented. Whereas if I work with a wetter product, then the pigment is washed out a little bit more. But I needed that intensity to be a little bit more there. And then this bead, as you'll see, is a bit wetter, so that I can diffuse that colour transition. And if in doubt, whip the glitter out. Do you know what I mean? I was intending on doing a glitter swoosh anyway, so a glitter swoosh we have with feathers. With feathers. It's a funny name. It's a funny name. I'm just going to do that little corner piece there. That always irritates me on an ombre now. So annoying. Oh my god. What are you doing? And in we are with the glitter acrylic. Biggest part of the bead goes in the middle, and then I'm going to swoosh it down and swoosh it up. And swoosh is a technical term. May well run a course in swooshing. Can you imagine? I actually do have courses online. They're only short courses. And if you do want me to do any courses, I'm a trained educator. I can create some little courses for you. Just skill building. I don't mean like beginners training. I've done that. I don't do that anymore. But if you would like some skill building or things like that, then that's fine. I can run those courses. That would be good. Good fun. So do let me know. Feedback is very important to me. Okay. Once everything's in place, leave it. Just let it set. Let it polymerize. I'm just going to moisten that nail with monomer, just so that this nice big bead of clear acrylic can soak into all the little bits and not get any frosting. And then we're going to encapsulate that whole design. Don't worry if you've got too much, just scrape it off. Going to encapsulate the whole design and then let it all set in place. And I'm trying my best to keep that shape nice and neat, using my brush to manipulate the bead. And don't overly play with the bead. Like this bit's all right, but when you first put the bead on the nail, hang on, I'll show you. You can either work with lots of beads and just work wet and just keep adding beads, which is fine. Or if you want to work with a bigger bead, then let it glide down the nail. You don't need to kind of push it and pull it so much down the nail. More just let it glide. Let gravity do its thing and use your brush as a guide to keep it within the parameters that you want it. Again, wetting the nail down. And then grabbing a bead of clear. Pop that bead on. Tip of my brush tucks that bead where the cuticle area is, because you don't want a step up. You want a smooth transition. Middle of the brush is moving that product. And then I'm just going to start letting gravity take its place. What? Oh my gosh, I can't even speak. I'm just going to let gravity do its thing, okay? Let it take its place. Take your place, gravity. And let that bead flow down the nail. And use my brush to kind of position it, guide it into place. That's the idea. And yeah, well, that's that really. I'm going to have to encapsulate all of the nails before I work on the smile line, because we need to protect the design work. Otherwise, if you start filing in your smile line, all those tiny dust particles are going to get inside your acrylic design. And that will cause you a lot of bother. That will be a lot of bother. Same on here, encapsulation, tip of the brush to tuck. Middle of the brush to move the product. Let gravity pull that product down the nail. You're just guiding it with your brush. And then you just remove any excess and start tapping it all into place. And the idea is, if you don't have to work too hard with your brush, you can just tap, tap, tap it into place. Filing at the end will be easier because you've kept that shape going. So remove any excess. Otherwise, you're just going to end up having to file it all off, and that would take ages. And it's just physically tiring as well, especially if you're working on a lot of clients in a day. It's just a bit much, you know? Just a bit much. On to the thumbnail. You know I love a thumbnail. How bright is that green? It's gorgeous, isn't it? same with that. We're going to encapsulate. Nice big bead of clear. And I'm just going to tuck my brush behind the bead, pushing it up into the cuticle area. I will add more product. I'm only using a size 10 brush as well, remember. I don't use big brushes, don't like them. Not, I don't like them, I just don't like working with them. I like a size 10. It's my thing. Don't ask me why either, because I couldn't tell you. I just know that's what I like doing. And then once they're all encapsulated, I filed them off camera. But as you can see, there wasn't much filing to do. The shape was relatively under control. It was just smoothing the surface and refining the edges. And once I was happy with that shape, I then, oh yeah, I had to do my smile line as well. So that's getting filed into place. So I'm sharpening up that smile line with my 180 grit file, making sure I've got a nice smooth edge to bump my product up to, because if you don't, it's going to look horrible. Basically, if you don't do it, it's going to look like a pile of poo. Okay, that's the truth. Don't skip this step. It just doesn't look as good. I've tried it. No one's perfect. I mean, someone might be perfect, but I'm not going to talk to them, so I don't know. And I'm also, while I'm here, just going to de-chunkify it. Just file it in a little bit. Just a bit. There we are. Once I'm happy, obviously I need to now remove all the dust from that nail. Give it a good old scrub. And then I can go in with the neon green acrylic. There we are. Lovely. Going to take that right up into the wings and do a complete coverage. I will even go over the smile line with the coverage because I want it to be super sharp, super on point. So when you file back from the smile line, you will have just the best crisp smile line. It will look fantastic. And that's why you file it in first. Now, you will need to encapsulate the tip area with clear acrylic, so you don't need to build it all the way up, but I do. I build it up, I file it down, and then just a thin encapsulation. The majority of the nail is covered by the French part, the smile line, or the extended nail bed, sorry. So you've got your strength there and your structure there anyway, but you need to encapsulate that colour with clear. So I filed that and encapsulated it. I had to put my phone on charge while I was doing that. And then now I am top coating with Madame Glam's No Wipe top coat. I have just ordered, they have refillable bottles now. So I've just ordered a big bottle of the No Wipe top coat to refill my polish bottle because, well, you know, it's waste otherwise, isn't it? So I've done that. You can get a 30% off Madame Glam. I've just ordered a new lamp from them as well. So you can get 30% off with my code, which is nice. And then, yeah, we'll top coat. They will go in the lamp for 1 minute. And they will be all beautiful and sparkly. And my sister will have pretty nails. There we are. I'll put a photo of us up at the end, I suspect. If I can find it. It's on my phone somewhere. So I'm sure I can. Oh, look at that. Such a beautiful colour. Went in the lamp, then I put some cuticle oil on, and then we were done. Let's have a look. I don't know if I show you top coat in the other hand. I can't remember. Do I? No, there we go. There's the final design. Let me know what you think. And I shall see you in my next video. Okay? Tally bye, my darlings. Tally bye.